Well, we just keep trying. We do the best we can. The car is very reliable. The team doing fantastic. We just had an engine change just before the race. We didn't know exactly what to expect. But again, reliability pay off. Consistency. My Duracell Lola run perfect. So everything was okay.
But Raul, so many people forget that you came here in a blaze of glory, then you were forced out, you went and you tried some other things, won the World Endurance Sports Car Championship, came back and was like the relief driver for everybody. Is this a vindication of sorts, your performance this year, of the rap that maybe was put on you in IndyCar racing?
Well, it definitely is. It's the combination of the team, the right equipment, my driving, my mentally approach, my physical approach. It's, I do my best, the team does their best, so we keep pounding, and I'm sure need to happen.
Well, another driver that used the Michigan 500 in 1992 to break the door down into victory lane, something Bozell would like to do in the future, is with Gary Gerould. Gary?
Indeed, that man was the defending champion, Scott Goodyear. A year ago, you were enjoying all the emotions of victory lane. Different emotions this time, a top 5 finish, but what a long day, because when you lost part of your headrest, this became more of an endurance test than anybody could have expected or imagined.
Well, there's a few things happen. I thought, well, I'll just hold my head up, but what it does is your head's now on a tilt, so it's changed your horizon going around the turns, and that took some getting used to, but the guys in the McKenzie team did a good job. I'm trying to get it fixed up a little bit. It was actually a bracket that broke, so it wasn't perfect, but we soldiered on, and it wasn't too bad at the end, and we got the car working better. We missed a few sessions over the last couple of days, but as the race progressed, the guys did a good job. We did some wing adjustments, and I think we were quicker than where we ended up, but you got to be fast from the beginning to the end.
What does your neck feel like right now? Is there any feeling at all?
Well, it feels like somebody's been on top of me for about 2.5 hours, jumping up and down by about 200 pounds, and also feels like somebody's been putting their feet on my shoulders and pulling my helmet up, because my neck's all stretched on this side. It's fine now, everything's movable, but I'm sure tomorrow morning's going to be a little sore. But, we've got the highest finish of the year. We've run a little bit competitive on the oval. We'll look forward to New Hampshire and hopefully get the Walker Motorsport car there next week.
Yeah, we'll see you up there next week, and again, congratulations on another top 5 effort.
Thanks.
All right, Scott, let's go back to Jack.
Well, Gary, you're looking at what a 12th place finishing car looks like. It's resting here on pit road, and now we're going to give you a look at what a 12th place finisher looks like, David Kudrev. And David, too often we only concentrate on the front finishers. Tell us about your drive today, because you were in the heat of things, having to be concerned with race traffic and also with race position.
I tell you, my biggest concern when I'm going out to learn a new circuit like I have this weekend is the race traffic, that I do not cause an accident with one of the leaders. That was a concern, but other than that, I was running very well. And it was my first 500 event and first super speedway event. So 2 things in one, I got it over with, and it feels good right now. But a little tired and sore. People said that after today I'd be very sore, but there I am.
Yeah, but remember, you're a young buck. You're not that old.
Yeah, I get away with it, but still get some creaks and cracks there.
Well, also, one of the things that many people may not be aware of is the fact that you share this ride periodically with Montramini, who's that great Formula 3 ace that really has turned some heads with this car. Has that made you have to perform that much tougher when you get behind the wheel?
Well, I mean, I'm performing as best to my abilities right now. We haven't done any testing, and Montramini is a very good driver, but his specialty is in road courses, and he's got a lot of road racing specialty.
You're 27 years old? Are you 27 years old?
Believe it or not.
Boy, hey, Paul, I wish when I was 27 I looked like this.
You wish when you were 15 you looked like that.
One of the things I want to tell you guys too, because David, when I do college football for ABC Sports, I was at a USC game one day and I heard this voice in the stands. You're a big USC guy.
Absolutely. Well, I went to USC, and I saw my buddy Jack there, and I had to run down and say hi and tell him root for USC.
What about this year?
We'll see with the new coach and new team, so there we are.
Paul?
David Kudrev, quite a following of fans on the West Coast as well. Now, there's still more racing coming up later this afternoon here on ABC. We have some other drivers we want to introduce you to, but coming up next, it will be the International Race of Champions, the series finale. The Goodyear blimp, the Spirit of Akron, hovers in a beautiful blue sky over Michigan International Speedway. Much of the crowd still hanging around to enjoy the post-race ceremonies after Nigel Mansell has taken the win here. But the story in many ways is Mario Andretti. What a spectacular day Mario had. Just a wonderful day. This though was not the good part. This was coming out of the pits. Cracked her a little too hard coming around Mansell's pit. But does this deter a great guy like Mario? Absolutely not. He's got a solution to it. Look at that. Little bootleg turn, points back in the right direction, and off he goes. Something almost necessary, because without reverse gear, if he'd gotten up close to that wall with the nose, he'd had to wait for the team to come down and turn him around. And you talk about how hungry this man was for a win. Here was Mario as he closed on traffic, moving to make what ground he could. And look at this, high out of the regular groove up into the gray stuff where it's loose and gravelly and very dangerous. Never lifted at all. And passed 4 of them all in one gigantic sweep. You think this guy is still not trying as hard as he can? He definitely is. Let's go trackside again, and Gary Gerould.
Well, a big day for the Fords. Teo Fabi, unfortunately, is a Chevy driver, and you're kind of first in class today in 6th place, Teo. How frustrating is it when you come to the Super Speedway here and you see those Ford Lola combinations out there running those huge numbers?
No, I think we had a chance to beat a couple of the Ford guy today, but we had a boost problem right from the beginning. So it was, our engine was down on power just due to the pop-up valve. But I think it was a good day for the Pennzoil team, and we had a great race. The car ran perfectly to the whole race. We just had this boost problem.
It's been a season where your team has steadily been making some progress. Now you go to the Mile Oval next week. Do you think that Ford package will have that kind of an advantage on the Mile Oval at Loudon?
No, I think definitely the Cosworth is more powerful, a high RPM, but I think on the Mile Oval we can race with them.
A lot of people talking, of course, all this weekend about the roughness of this racetrack and how tough it is to manhandle a car for 500 miles, and yet you look remarkably fresh. Was it very difficult for Teo Fabi today?
No, I think physically the 500 miles oval race are very, very easy. You don't get very tired. And for sure, Michigan is bumpy, but I don't think it's a problem for a driver point of view. I think it's, everyone is afraid of something going wrong on the car, just due to the bump, due to the load you're putting on the suspension.
Well, you had quite a battle through much of the late stages with Scott Goodyear. You end up here in the number 6 spot, and we look forward to seeing you next week, and hopefully it'll be a podium finish for you.
Well, I think the Pennzoil team is improving, and I think we deserve a victory before the end of the season, and we're working on.
All right, Teo. He was second here at Michigan in 1989. Today he has to settle for 6th, Paul.
Teo Fabi won 4 races, a rookie in 1983, including sitting on the pole at Indianapolis. Well, here's the final results with Nigel Mansell winning the second fastest 500-mile race in history at 188.203 miles an hour. Followed by Mario, Arie Luyendyk, Raul Boesel, Scott Goodyear, and Teo Fabi, whom we just talked to. Roberto Guerrero in 7th place, then Al Unser Jr. Bobby Rahal still in the top 10, trying to close points on the championship. Willie T. Ribbs in 10th. Scott Brayton, you met David Coudray for the first time here on ABC. Emerson Fittipaldi out of the points in 13th. Hiro Matsushita, Robbie Gordon falling out at the end of the race, and Ross Bentley, the last car running. There were 15 cars running at the finish of the race. Olivier Griard, the Frenchman, and we come down to the final positions with Paul Tracy, Jeff Wood, Buddy Lazier, Lynn St. James, and Stefan Johansson, who was the only accident of the day. A long, hard day, maybe one of the toughest races there is, the Michigan 500. It certainly exhausted Nigel Mansell. This was as he pulled into the pits at the conclusion of the race. Race officials and team members there to help an exhausted World Formula One champion as he tried to climb out of the car. Let's go down trackside again. Willie T. Ribbs is with Jack Arute.
And Paul, he doesn't look exhausted at all. In fact, this is your first time ever in Michigan. 500 miles, you finished 10th. You're gaining in this sport.
Well, Jack, when we started at Indy, we were green as a banana, and every race we've been trying to build momentum. And coming here to Michigan, it's a very fast place. And, if you can get the car balanced right, you can do well. The first 2 sets of tires, we weren't strong at all. I could hardly go fast, and I lost a lot. But from then on, we could run pretty decent, and we made up ground, and thanks to a good team and a good sponsor.
With the support of Bill Cosby and Service Merchandise, what has that done for your mindset as a driver, knowing you're going to be here week in and week out now?
Well, you can concentrate. I mean, before you're not worried about where the dollars are coming from. With a sponsor like Service Merchandise and Cosby, I mean, you think you would have the military budget, you know what I mean? But still, I mean, you're dealing with teams here that have a military budget. So you want to keep the momentum building. I mean, it's my first time here in Michigan, and I'm happy with it. I mean, we were running pretty decent, pretty fast then, so just continue the momentum.
Any close calls for you today?
A couple, but just with lap cars. But, that's part of this business. I mean, like my younger brother says, you knew the job was dangerous when you took it.
Paul, probably the funniest story is on the way out to the racetrack today, we were in very tight company, and guess who passed our car and about 5 others as he tried to go around to come to the racetrack? This guy here, and I was kidding him about it. He says, hey, that's my job to pass cars. Let's check in with Gary Gerould.
Well, here's Scott Brayton, just missed the top 10, 11th spot, and your problems really kind of started early when there was a bit of a gamble around a yellow flag and trying to stretch the fuel a little bit, and it kind of backfired.
Well, it certainly did, and all the telemetry showed us that we had 3 gallons left, but I got over in turn 2, and the car just ran out of fuel and died, and I tried to swerve it side to side, get it started, but it wouldn't start, and so I coasted in. That cost us 4 laps, and from there we were just pushing it uphill all day.
Tell us about this combination now with the Ford Lola on the super speedways. Just, pretty much awesome dominance.
It certainly is. I think originally the Lola Ford was designed for a speedway car. And so I think it's probably more compromised for a road race car. And so for that reason, the Ford engine with the Lola chassis just is very powerful out here. Ford's done an excellent job in the reliability of the engine. And it has been a very exciting power plant for me to run this year.
All right, Scott, we'll see you next week. We go back up to Paul Page.
Thank you.
So the race has been run here at Michigan. Congratulations, Scott Brayton, on his finish and keeping it going in this race. Here was Nigel Mansell as he streamed for the checkered flag, taking his win. The first 1-2 finish for Newman Haas in a 500-mile race. That was worth a big smooch from Carl Haas. Geez, looked like Paul liked it. Coming up, don't forget the International Race of Champions. We'll have more here from Michigan and plenty of racing action this afternoon on ABC Sports. As another smooch, this time from the trophy from Nigel Mansell. We'll be back. Well, the win here at Roger Penske's track in the Michigan 500 went to Newman Haas and Nigel Mansell, and that put him back at the top of the points fight with 123 points. Fittipaldi in second, Boisel remains in third, Mario Andretti in fourth. The points are beginning to tighten there at the top of the order, Sam.
Well, there are 2 oval races left and 4 road courses. Emerson is 18 points back, but the road courses are his strength. And it looks to me as if it's going to be a battle right to the end between the 2 world champions, Fittipaldi and Mansell.
My congratulations to the Haas team, but better be known, they've agitated Penske. He's going to be racing harder the rest of the year, so we're going to see good racing.
The Indy cars load up now and head off to Loudoun, New Hampshire for the New England 200 in just 1 week. That race was won last year by Bobby Rahal. Will Nigel Mansell be able to do it again? So the race has been run here at Michigan. A long, difficult day for the Indy cars. But Nigel Mansell has now won on every kind of circuit the Indy cars have to offer. I'm Paul Page for Sam Posey, Bobby Unser, Gary Gerould, and Jack Arute. So long from Michigan.
The Michigan 500 has been brought to you by cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft. Get out of the old, get into the cold. By Craftsman, a line of 1,600 hand tools made in America. And by Subway, the place where fresh is the taste. Coming up next on ABC Sports, the racing action continues in Michigan with the sport's ultimate test of skill. The world's greatest drivers are set to challenge the track and each other in the grand finale of the International Race of Champions next on ABC Sports. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports.